My name is Randi Newton. I live in New York City. I'm 40 years old and I've been sober for, oh my God, it's going to be 11 years on June 4th.
Oh my
So
gosh, so it's coming up.
coming up. I can't believe it.
Do you still celebrate your sober milestones?
Oh my God, of course. Of course I do. I mean, when I got sober, I basically, I decided, I woke up one morning and I was like, this isn't working for me. No one's going to save me. I'm going to have to do this myself. I went and checked myself into an outpatient detox, and I didn't hit my first AA meeting until a year after, like a year of sobriety. So I counted weeks because that was less intimidating for me.
Yeah.
And now it's like I celebrate, like, I mean, I think about it every day because I wouldn't have the life I have now if I wasn't sober. So yeah, milestones are absolutely essential. It's the most bizarre, accomplished feeling.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, it never gets old, you know, celebrating your being sober anniversary.
Yeah. That's good to hear. That makes me really happy to hear. Like, it's not like it becomes any less special. If anything, I'm sure it becomes like even more monumental. Sort of rewinding to, over 11 years ago, what do you tell people when you explain like why you're sober or why you decided to make that decision?
The way I explain it to people is I was at a point in my life where I had a dead-end job. I mean, I was a stripper, and you can't be a stripper. I mean, even at 30 years old, I was pushing it, and I wanted to pursue other things, and the drinking was just completely in the way. And I thought, I don't want to be remembered for being a washed up drunk stripper. I'm not doing anything but drinking and taking off my clothes, and I'm miserable. And I basically, it's like I wanted to have a life that I loved. And I didn't love my life when I was drinking. I have to say, my first 6 months when I stopped drinking, I put all the money I used to spend on alcohol in a shoebox. And in 6 months, I had saved $10,000.
Oh my God.
As a female, I mean,
Yes.
like, we had boys buying us drinks.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. Good point.
Crazy. Yeah.
And I love that because, so many of the apps now have like where it'll track sort of an estimated money saved. But like when you have that in front of you, like shoebox status or like tucked under the bed, whatever it is, like what an amazing reminder of just how much it costs, not only like your spiritual health, but like financially it costs to be drinking.
Yeah. I had a box, and I think I left it at my like ex-husband's house. And it said something about, like, it said June 4th, remember when you put money in here, what you're doing for yourself. And at first I was like, ooh, money. And then it became a lot more than about the money. It's so much more than that. It's priceless.
Is there anything that you wish you knew, or like what someone could have said to sort of, help you feel more comfortable getting sober?
I think one of the biggest things is I was afraid that people would judge me for not drinking. And I know it's like a huge problem for so many young people. And I realized if you don't make a big deal out of it, even though it's a huge deal that you're sober, no one cares what you have in your hand. And I also, when I first got sober, I kept it quiet. I kept it quiet. I told a few people I worked with because I didn't want anyone to try to convince me, oh no, you're fine, you can keep drinking.
Yes.
Because we all have those friends. Mm-hmm. And I knew that if I told anyone, that they would be able to talk me out of it. And so it felt so good when I was able to come out after a year at the club, and I said, guys, I'm actually sober. I haven't had a drink for a year. And they were like, wow, we wonder why the Patron stock, like
Right.
we didn't run out of the tequila
You
as
save
much
the
as we
club
used to.
money.
Yeah. So that's what helped me is like you be very careful who you allow into your life and who you
Right.
tell, because you need supportive people, and you don't need people to talk you into like, oh, just one drink, because that one drink can make you feel so bad about yourself. It's
Right.
not worth it.
Yeah, and that's actually something that's been coming up commonly, is just like a common reaction of what do you wish before you knew before is I wish I knew how much people wouldn't actually care, because that
Exactly.
fear of what people are going to say, all these imagined situations that we make up in our head are far scarier in our minds than what actually happened. It's like anticlimactic. You think you're going to have to like defend the fact that you don't drink, and then someone's like, oh cool.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
What kept you motivated to just continue to bank up the time?
I think that for me, oh God, I noticed that my life was improving. I was getting things that I always wanted. Um, Not material things, but like I was accomplishing things. Like I wanted to pursue a career in writing, and now that's something that I do professionally. And that happened when I stopped drinking. I lost 50 pounds just from quitting drinking.
Yeah, I
So
believe it.
that was like pretty crazy. I was like, wow. And then of course your body realizes, oh, you can't eat a whole pizza, and you start getting weight back. But um just my skin, my hair, waking up in the
Yeah.
morning and feeling so great. And I was on Antabuse as well. Are you familiar with that?
No, tell me more about
Oh
that.
my God. Antabuse is a drug that they give you, and it makes your body physically reject alcohol. And
Oh,
they
okay.
make you sign a disclaimer and a waiver saying, I'm taking this knowing that I could go into cardiac arrest if I drink. I could, die if I drink. I think I
Wow.
mean, not everyone dies if they drink on it, but I've
Right.
met two people who did have heart attacks after they drank on Antabuse. And that definitely kept me sober. I went to Vegas when I had 3 months, and I'm like, I don't want to be found dead in Vegas. The glass of champagne, not worth it. Didn't want to be found at the strip club in a sweaty spandex dress
Right.
over a glass of wine.
Right.
So, that kept me, that was like a seatbelt.
Right.
And then it became more of just a way of life. And I stopped taking it because it was very expensive at the time. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. I don't need alcohol in my life anymore.
Right. And what a great, like, very tangible marker of the progress that you've made, where you get to stop paying the money for the medication, stop taking it, and still feel confident without it.
Yes. Oh yeah. It was an amazing feeling. So
So, especially, as you're getting closer to the 11 years, how do you consider how your program has evolved from like year one to getting close to year 11?
wow, I think it's different for everybody. For me, I've noticed who my real true friends are. And I don't have I think we all had, or lots of drinking friends.
Oh, yeah.
And when you cut out the
Too many.
alcohol, you realize, oh wow, we have nothing to talk about. I was friends with one person because they were a bartender. If I got sick of the conversation, I could leave the bar. They couldn't. They had to stay and work.
Right.
So I've noticed that my circle of friends has gotten a lot smaller, but a lot tighter.
Yeah.
And my program, I'm not into AA. I don't think AA is the only way to get sober, but I completely support it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm very cautious of who I let into my life and into my personal space,
Right.
in the sense that, especially after this whole crazy coronavirus thing, it's made me realize life is too short. I don't want to be surrounded with negative energy, negative people,
Right.
negative situations. And that's been like a huge thing that just the pandemic has made me realize.
Right.
That I wish I would have realized without that having to happen. But yeah.
Especially when you drink, I don't think we realize like how much mediocrity we're willing to put up with that we wouldn't otherwise, of just like doing people, places, and things, all the nouns that we allow to not be that great just because we're not in a position to want better for ourselves.
Exactly.
So I love that. And I think the friendship part is so true. It's like you have all these party friends, and then you take a step back and you're like, I don't even know if you're a good person. Like at least for a lot of my party friends, I'm like, wait, I don't even know what your career is. And I've been partying with you for the last like decade.
Right.
And I don't know if you're a good person. Are your parents married? Like, what's your relationship like with your mom? I don't know. How do I not know this?
Yeah.
What does being sober look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
God, I just wake up and have some LaCroix and some coffee. I just want to say it's a normal day. And God, I don't know why it's hard for me to answer that question, because I think people who are like normies, you know, some people can drink in moderation. I'm not one of those people. Yeah, it's just like I'm completely aware and present at all times of my feelings and what I'm going through and what I'm doing and what I decide to do and what I don't decide to do. And I have fun. And it looks like I've seen your little dance party videos. It looks like you have a lot of fun too.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So it's not boring at all. If anything, I can remember every single detail. And, you know, that's not something I was able to do before I got sober.
Yeah. And it also doesn't have to be extreme, where it's like all of a sudden you're like meditating and doing silent retreats and juice cleansing the heck out of your life. Like it actually just looks like normal life, but better.
It really does. It's like normal life. It's like I tried to juice cleanse for about a day not too long ago, and I just love food too much. But yeah, you know, it's like I have a therapist. I make sure I check in with her on a regular basis. I have a great support system.
Anything that you're working on that you want to share, like, or resources or anything that you feel like would be helpful to other people who are, ditching alcohol?
Oh God. I mean, my handle is World of Randi, and I'm always more than happy to talk to anybody about, sobriety. If they have questions, what they're going through. I have some exciting stuff coming up, but none of it is solidified yet. And so I can't really talk about anything yet, but I'm really excited because, these things have happened in my life because I am sober. Yeah. And I'm like so grateful for that. So follow me at World of Randi on Instagram and on Twitter.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
It was so nice to have a chance to talk to you a little bit more and like have an interaction with the people that I meet on the internet.
Awesome. So great to meet you. Let's do this again sometime.